Good morning, everybody. Welcome to my channel. It's Colleen. Okay, so today I just had my dog at the vet. He had some stitches removed, and now I'm back home with my coveted cup of coffee and a bunch of butterfly themed papers are strewn on my desk, and with no idea what I'm going to do. However, decided to turn on the video to see how I do with this on the fly crafting. It's not generally how I do things. I'm usually sharing a flip through of already done journals and whatnot, and I do like to do some craft alongs, but I'm usually a little bit prepared. So this is a winging it day. So if you're interested and you don't have a whole lot on your plate today, you just want to get some crafty ideas, you're welcome to just join me and have a little visit. So if you are, thank you for being here, everybody. Okay, design team. I am a part of a design team called Silver and Sparkles, which I've mentioned in previous video. Her name is Pam. She's wonderful. She's creative, crafty, kind, very sweet. And I'm so honored to be a part of her design team. And I am still working through her kit. What's the kit called again? I'm going to link it in the description box below. I did link it in the previous video. Spring something. Oh my goodness. Sorry, Pam, forgetting. However, but I'm working through some ephemera because I'm adding to this journal that I created a little bit ago, and I'm just slowly working through it, adding this and that. I don't want to fill this up too much because I already have in mind who this is going to. I've decided that already, just as you know, a couple days ago. And so I want the person who's going to receive this, they don't know who they are, but I want that person to have the option to create for herself as well as she adds to this journal. So hopefully she'll like it. And yeah, so let's do a couple of page spreads. Probably just a couple tags, I don't know. But I was working with a brown bag. Look at this kit. Is it not the most gorgeous kit ever? Anyway, so I'll put this aside. I'll clean it up a little bit so I have some room to create whatever it is I'm going to do. There's all kinds of sheets to the kit. These are the background sheets. These are not part of the kit. I've just had them in my stash forever. So I'm going to move these aside. This is also just part of some old stash, butterfly themed. These are some of her background pages to the kit and the word prompts. There's 2 pages of word prompts to use, which I thought was really cool to add to a kit. Beautiful background pages. Oh my goodness, so much to work with. So I think what I want to do, in my previous video, I did a couple of paper bag pouches, if you recall. If you, yeah, I do have some leftover portions of the paper bag. So I did 2 pouches and I used 2 different bags. One was a little bit thicker than the other. So because I have leftover bag, I don't want to waste it. We're going to use this today. I wanted to show you in my last video something I forgot to show you. So when you have your brown paper bags, and I mentioned to you that I cut the bottom. I'm going to go grab one. Just give me 1 second, guys. I forgot to show you last time, but just grabbing from my paper bag bin. Okay, let's see. This is really big. Okay, I'll take this one. It's just sort of how to utilize the stuff that you're using. So the pouches, what I did is I took the paper bag, it looked like this, and I cut along right here. You know, the big bulky bottom part. There's all kinds of ways you can use this part. I just happened to cut it off completely, and then I was left with just the bag without the bottom. But this part here, I want to show you how I'm using it. while I'm making this particular journal. It gave me two you know, when you're working with a certain theme, maybe some of you don't work that way. I sometimes do, and I sometimes don't. This is a butterfly themed journal, so I do have some ephemera already created using the kit, Silver and Sparkles kit. But look at this bag. There's some of these are wide, and I was like, where am I going to keep these while I'm working so they're not in my way? So I took the one bottom of the bag, and it holds beautifully. And the other smaller bag, I'm also using it for the longer tags. So isn't that kind of cute? A good idea how to utilize what you've got going on. I guess while I'm at it, I want to quickly share. This is part of the kit that I'm using, and these are the pockets. I've already cut some out. I think I showed you this already, so maybe I won't get into this. These are just lightly embellished ephemera pieces that I'm going to probably use in the journal. Okay, back to focus here. So this page here is ripped, and that's cool. I don't mind that at all. So let's work with this one for now. And then out of my pile of stuff, I'm going to grab 3 or 4 items. So maybe I'll grab this. And then I will grab a focal point, which will be, of course, the butterfly. Which one will I grab? I think I will grab which one will I grab? I think I'll work with the purple one maybe. And see, the thing is, if I have too much in front of me and no plan, it can become a thing. So I'm going to simplify and maybe just work with that. And I have this little tray here with some art, some butterfly ephemera pieces that I've had in my stash. I'm going to do something with this and maybe some lace. We shall see. So let's see what. So this is a nice sturdy piece of. It came out of this book here that I found at a thrift store, and it's full of super thick patterned papers, both front and back. I thought that was an awesome find. So there's all kinds of patterns and whatnot. So that's what I took out from the other day. So I'm going to just use it up. So it's going to be my base. So I'm going to just give it a tear here with my ruler. It needs to fit into the journal, so I don't want to make it too wide, but I want it to be a chunky. I like to make big ephemera. That's what I find I tend to mostly work on or do. And of course, these little pieces come in handy. I like how they texturize a little piece. Let's see. This would probably fit in the journal. That size. See how big it is? That's how I like to do things. So we've got our base, but I also want to use this brown bag. Oh, see how this is already, this fold-up piece here, already a pocket? Well, why don't we do that? Okay, let's do that. I'm going to just tear right down this crease. And I'm going to keep that pocket folded up. And this is going to be, maybe I'm going to fold it over, or maybe I'll fold it down. I'm going to just clean it up a little bit, straighten up the lines. Not perfectly, but a little bit better than that. I kind of like how they're not perfectly centered. It gives a bit of the rustic feel, or an organic feel, especially since it's a butterfly themed journal. So I'm going to lightly ink. Because, guys, is it really an ephemera piece if it's not inked? You know, there's a lot of you that don't use ink, and I'm always marveling at how lovely it looks. You don't have to ink everything. And then I set out to not ink, and then I find myself inking. I just don't know. I think I maybe have, I mean, I've only happened upon junk journaling a handful of years ago, but during my time of junk journaling, and maybe even since I've had my channel, there's only, I think, a couple of projects I have, you know, done from start to finish and not actually used ink. But usually I'm inking. Anyway, so that's going to lay right there. I like that. So I'm going to glue it right down. And I'm going to use my Uhu. I'm not sure how you pronounce that. I think it's Uhu glue. There's so many different glue sticks out there. As you all know, you just got to find the one you like that works best for you. Whoops, whoops, whoops. Let's get that down here. Okay, don't quite know what I'm going to use these flaps for just yet. Well, this is going to be a pocket, clearly. Now, what I could have done is just glued the back of the brown bag here and here, and then it could have also been, you know, a journaling card belly band, if you will, but I didn't do that. That's okay. I think what I'm going to do, let me just check here in my little paper bag bundle. I think I'm going to use that like that. That's going to be like a, you know, a tie down. However, I need one here then, don't I? But I'm out of circles just yet, and I don't want to take a minute or two to print off another sheet from the kit, because I think I used all the circles. However, when you have a circle punch, you can punch anything your little heart desires, and then it's a circle. So I'm going to maybe use, do I want to use this piece, or do I want to use the back? Maybe we'll use this piece. And I'm going to give it a bit of ink. So before I glue the pocket down, I want to, because I'm going to use this kind of as a, I think so. I'm feeling that. So I have some twine here. It's a little bit thick. Okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to strengthen this, you guys. This paper bag is not as thick. Or it's thick, but just not thick enough. So I'm going to just take a couple of random pieces of scrap here. And I'm going to eyeball. I'm going to eyeball I'm going to just strengthen. Just to add a little bit of strength. Doesn't have to fit perfectly, just enough to give it a little more. This is the joy when you don't have to measure perfectly. I'm not going to ink it because you're not really going to see these pieces, I'm only using them strictly for strength. So let's glue them on. There are people that they just work with strong cardstock, printable cardstock pages and stuff, which I also do, definitely do. But sometimes when I'm doing more of an organic themed type of journal, I like to use, you know, junk, trash papers and stuff that aren't always strong. So I do like to add the strength to it. Okay, now I can tell and feel they're already thicker. Okay, perfect. So when I put on my ties, they're going to feel better. Now, I want to put a little butterfly here. So let's just see if I have one here. I have different sized ones. There is that one. That would work. Might be a little too big, or a little too, I don't know. Let's just go with that for now. Maybe I'll even use this. I'm not sure. We'll see. Okay. So I'm going to use a brad. So I've just got a bunch of little different styles of brads here. And I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a little orangey one. And then what do I want down here? Let's do a green one. My fingers are a little big for such small little items to work with, but we're going to get it done. Okay, so I'm going to use a pokey tool. And I think I just want it centered about. Maybe what I should do first, let's not get ahead of myself. I'm going to cover these pieces right here. Not completely because I want the brown bag to show. But I'm going to take some background paper. Do I want it scripted? Yeah, let's go scripted. Why not? All right, so I'm just going to give it right down. I'll use them for both. So I'm going to tear it about here. And then I'm going to tear it about. I'm going to pull it up so I can see where it lands at the bottom. And I want to leave a little bit at the top of the pocket. So we'll give it some ink. And it doesn't have these background pieces do not have to, you know, have butterflies on them because obviously you can see the closure tabs are butterflies. So I'm going to glue this on right now before I stick the closure down. And this one. Like that. Okay. Now here's my butterfly tab. So I'm going to just, I think I want it about, maybe I'll just go right through the little head of the butterfly. It's a little bit stronger now that I added the background piece. And then I'm just going to close it up. Like so. Now I do want something in the center of that. It just needs some, you know, something. So I'm going to, maybe I will grab a smaller. Yeah, that's what we'll do. I'm just grabbing from a little shelving thingamajig. We go in that color. Or do we want something darker? Hearts, this. Okay, Colleen, just grab one. Just grab one. Don't want pink. Don't want pink for this particular piece. You know what, let's just go green. Let's just go green. Okay, I'm going to give it some ink. Actually, you know what? I see also in front of me, these are little pieces of petal. And there's also a little flower. Could gussy it up a little bit. Or not. Let's just go with or not. Okay. Through the middle. These little mini brads are definitely much more finicky to work with. Okay, I'm just putting the pokey tool back. All right, so here we have something anyway. I'm going to glue. Let me think here. I'm going to, well, let's just put the string on just for the sake of it. See what develops from that. So I'm just going to grab enough to, you know, wind it. So what I do is I go around the top of the closure tab, and I'm going to tie a little bit of a knot just so that it doesn't come apart. Now this is a bit thicker, this twine, so while I'm doing a knot, I'm running the risk of it being a bit too bulky behind here. However, I'm going to glue this piece here down anyway, so we're all good. Okay, so I think I'm going to go around this way, not tight or anything. I don't want the pockets to bulk. Let's just cut enough here. Okay. Maybe I'll try to just go this way once and twice. That'll do it. But you don't want to just, you can feel the tension, or I feel some tension here, so I'm going to loosen it a bit. Let's go this way maybe. I just want to lightly do it. Okay, so It'll look like that. I'm going to leave a little tail. And so I think as I'm doing this, I can see that I'm going to use it for, let's find some pieces here. So I have like bits and bobs of pieces of the kit that I've cut off just for, you know, future use. But because I'm going to gift this journal, and the person who's going to receive it, I do want them to have some things to work with. So I'm going to just tuck these pieces into this little pocket thing. And then when I put it on the page, let's do that right now. Do I want to add some trim? Just to gussy it up? Or maybe I'll let the person decide that. How's that? Okay, so when I put this on the page, I'm going to leave it as a belly band. So let's find a page in my journal where it will live and see if this is going to work. Okay, which signature do I want to add to today? How about right here maybe? Yeah, let's do that. Perfect. Okay, so I think what I'll do is I'm going to glue this down, but I'm going to only do 3 sides, and I will then also add a nice large journaling tag underneath, or like some sort of a tag. So let me just glue this down. So now I'm going to use my tacky turbo glue. Make sure you don't glue the wrong sides. I've done that in the past. I hope my arm isn't too close to the camera, you guys. I don't need to kill it with the glue because this cardstock grabs very nicely. And find where you want it to live in your journal. And there we go. I put it as close to the edge as I, could, because I want to give as much room over here for the journal tag. Just securing it down. Let's see if I have one. Well, here's a nice large journaling tag. It's too big. So let's find one of Pam's tags here in the kit. This looks pretty. Not going to be too patterny. Look at that. Perfect home. See, meant to be. Love it. You can add a couple of, I can add a couple of, sometimes when I have just nothing but extra time, I take my trusty tab punch. We all love a tab, don't we? And I just sit and take various pieces of paper and I cut tabs. And I cut whale tail tabs, etc. So, as you can see, I'm just, for fun, grabbing a couple of, see what it's going to look like here. Kind of like this lady. That's fun. Anyways, I won't do anything with that just yet or right now. I just want it to be down, and I think, yeah, I'm not going to glue the pocket down just because I want the person to be able to grab, their whatever is going to be tucked away in there, and then to have easy access so that she can tuck. I might add a couple more things in there just for fun. Here's another using up scrap cardstock one day, I guess. Colors don't go here, but I'm going to tuck this in anyway. Okay, so that's one little fast and quick paper bag creation. And we'll do one more and we'll call it a day. Okay, here's the other piece. I think what I want to do, I want to use this triple. I want to glue them right down the center of the body. I like working with butterflies like this. Just adds dimension. And let it take there, the glue. And then you just sort of flip up the wings a bit if you want. See how it just gives a bit of a dimensional. So I'm going to use that. Okay, how will we use it? Here's the bag I'm going to use, or the piece of bag. I do want to use, let's see, how will we do this? What will we do with this? Maybe we will just do something. Will we make this a pocket? Well, why don't we do that? Okay, let's make this a pocket. Okay, I'm going to find some. I'd sort of like to use some of the blue. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Okay. I like how this is already, you know, gives the shabby vibe. A shabby vibe. Okay, so I'm going to fold it over. And see if I'm creating the proper size. Now this might be too wide, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this down, and then I can cut whatever I need to cut once it's glued down. Okay, I like that. I'm not sure if there's a proper direction, but we're going with this. Okay, let's do some ink. The neighbor's having some troubles there with her little girl. I can hear her crying. I think they foster, or they do respite care. That's what they do, I think, which is really, how special is that? We had a gal with disabilities living with us. Her name was Janet. She lived with us for 3 years, full time. But she was, when did she, I think she was, I want to say, was she 36 when she moved in with us? And she would go to day program every day. I would drop her off at day program, where she would do all kinds of fun things with her peers. And I'd pick her up. And yeah, so she moved a little bit, she moved to, I believe, Salmon Arm, BC. So she moved in with her sister, and I think now she's living with another respite or another home share family. So I like that. However, I do need to make sure I get the right size. So I grab my journal and find a page. Yeah, that's going to be, so I've got a pocket like that. I think I only had 4 pouches the other day. So let's, which signature did I not put one? I think it's this one. Yeah, let's put it here. Yeah, I like how the blue, you'll see, I'll show you what I mean in a second. Okay, so I'm going to just do a bit of measuring as far as how big I want the pocket to be. And I don't want it to be the full width of the page because it gets bulky. These, my journals get bulky. That's what they get. So I'm going to be careful of that. I don't often do naked journals, but I'm trying to do more so like that so that when people get them, there's options that they can do as far as creating their own ephemera for their journals. But my favorite part of doing a journal is creating my own ephemera. That is definitely my all-time favorite part of making a journal. Okay, so I love this, you guys. That you got to use this up. We're going to glam this piece up, but I'm going to, how tall do I want it? Maybe let's go this tall. And maybe I'm going to keep this piece too. I'm not going to cut it off. Okay, let's move this aside. Okay, let's kind of give it a little bit of a worn, torn, shabby vibe. Now this piece, this hole here, as much as some would cover it, and I often do, I'm going to give it a bit of a shabby, torn, loved up piece of, see, I like that. I know that you guys probably think I'm nuts, but there's just something about rugged paper. I'm going to fold this over and maybe fold it over again. Okay, let's give it some ink. And I guess then I'm going to find a tag to put inside of it. Decorate the pocket a bit yet. I'm going to give I'm going to glue this a little bit down there. Sometimes, well, not sometimes, it's actually what I'm finding right now doing this on the fly crafting stuff. Some of you are pros at it. I could name so many of you that do crafting on the fly with your subscribers. Oh. Like I said, it's not my comfort zone, but I am loving it right now. I'm definitely enjoying it. So I'm going to glue this piece down. So it is a bit thin. The back of, like, I can tell this section here is a bit thin, and that's all right. No big deal. It's all good. It's only going to live it's going to live on a page anyway. It's not going to be taken out but I'm going to just glue these pieces as they naturally lie. I'll leave that. Okay. Put that in. It is a bit, let's see, should I cover the back? No, because you know what, I won't put a thick tag in it, so we're good, But I'm gonna add a bit of glue here now to put the pocket down. Just going to give it a little more glue here. I'm going to take a little quick sip of coffee. Okay, let's see. What do I want to do with this? I want to put something up here, but I don't. Do I want to make it all uniformed? Okay, let's do that. Let's make it all uniformed and stuff. Okay. Again, you got to remember the person that's getting this want to do their own thing. So I don't want to do too much. But there's definitely enough pages in the journal that there is lots and lots of opportunity to add all kinds of yummy treasures. All right, so I'm going to lay that down right there. Or is it going to go this way? I think the other way. Okay, so I'm going to give it some glue. The thing with using this glue stick, I don't get a lot of wiggle room once I place it onto where it's going to be, you know, live. But with the other, like with the wet glue, you got wiggle room. There, okay, well this worked out. Once it's down, it's down. You can't really, you know, manipulate the page or move it to a different spot or anything, so I don't. Now I'm going to glue this here because it will inevitably be torn off if I don't. Okay. I kind of like that, you guys. Now when it's, of course, down on the page in the journal, it's going to be better because it's going to lay more stiffly onto the page. So then we've got our little decorative part. Now, do I put it here or do I put it here? I'm going to put it definitely on the bottom. However, let's put something under it. Let's add some lace. Do I want darker or do I want lighter? I like a good contrast, but I love the warmth of this. Let's check it out and see. Maybe I'll go right across. Let's have a look. Or do we want Mr. Chocolate Brown? What do you guys think? Yell loudly. Oh, okay, we're doing this one. When you know, you know. I'm going to go right, so I'm going to go over the edge and then I'm going to cut it. Just instead of having to perfectly cut it, I'm going to clean up the edges as I put it down, after I put it down. Okay, out comes my Fabrifix. This holds fabrics, lace, heavier pieces down onto paper beautifully. And take my silicone dabber. Okay, and now I'm going to go like that. You know what? I'm going to use Fabrifix because we've got paper on fabric, just to be safe. Don't want it coming off. Just going to glue the middle down. I think we're just going to get this finished and it'll be just enough time. You know, I'm always curious, and if you'd be so kind to let me know in the description box or in the comment section, but when you're watching, how many ads do you guys have to watch or at least fast forward through when you're watching my channel? I'm super curious. Okay, I'm going to tuck this over because I don't want to clip the wing off, but I do want to cut. There we go. could add a little bit of, you know, this stuff here, leftover fabrics from, let's just bunch a little bit up and put it down. Gives a bit of texture on the butterfly body. I kind of like to leave a bit of a tail. I like that. Not that butterflies have tails, but more of a tail of this little fabric cluster. Okay, so I kind of like that. Now let's find a tag from this kit, from this gorgeous kit that Pam created. That's pretty. I like how the tag also keeps the top down. I haven't decided what to do with whether I'm going to glue that down or not. Or do I want a bigger? Oh, that fits beautifully. Oh my goodness, you guys, I love that. That's it. That's the ticket. When you know, you know, right? Okay, I'm going to grab my journal and just see how this is actually going to look. Where did we decide? Oh, look at that. Oh, there. Okay, so this is the one I did today. So I'm not going to put it in this. Oh, yes, the fourth one. That's right. Okay. Okay, right here. This was the page. Because I like how the blue, see how when you're looking at the cascading signatures as they lay in the journal, I like how this follows into the blue. I'm kind of different like that, or maybe I'm not. Maybe that's what you all look for as well, but there's no rules for sure. But I'm going to put this right there. I quite like that. And then I have to figure out what I'm going to do there. I think I'm going to add some more. So now I want to be careful because I don't obviously want to glue here. So I'm going to glue around it. Okay, oops. Turn it over. I'm going to stand so that I can. There we go. There we go. Okay, one last little thing. Let's do, I think I'm going to add some up there too. I think it's a bit, definitely a bit thick, isn't it? Well, let's see. I've got this. Oh yeah, well, let's do this. Okay. This is a piece of old bed sheets that I never did use. I've been tearing them up and I have had all kinds of use out of them. Lots and lots of use. Tear up those bed sheets, ladies and gentlemen, because you can get a whole lot of mileage. Tear your strips or whatever you want, but it just, I love working with them. And of course, as you can see, this one looks absolutely perfect. So I'm going to use my finger tool to kind of give it a bit of a grungy shab here. But I don't want it butting up against the spine. Oops. Come on, get over there. Okay, there. Isn't that pretty? You can see a little bit of the glue bled through, but that's okay. One last thing I think what I'm going to do here. Excuse me, I could leave it, but I'm going to get up quickly, you guys, and I'm going to grab one last little thing here. I'm a button girl, and I'm going to put a little button I can either take from, see my button jars? If I go to thrift stores, I grab button jars. Not that I need more, but you know how it is. You know when you know. Okay, what color do we want? We could do that. We could do blue. That's pretty too, because it's, you know, blue themed and all. But maybe I'll put it over there. Will I put it in the middle? Oh my goodness. I love it. I do. Do I want to go smaller? Smaller is probably better. Do I want to go cream? Oh, cream's good too. Oh, I wish you guys were crafting right beside me. I mean, this is cute, but it's, yeah, I don't know. I'm going to use that one. I think, well, or do I want to go cream? Or do I want a flower? No, I don't want a flower. Okay, one last time. You know what I'm going to do? Okay, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my little ink. Where did it go? So I'm going to give this a little bit of a, so that's not so, yeah, that's better. Okay, I'm probably going to love that. But you know what we got to do? We got to give it a bit of, here, see if this fits through. It does. That one fits through. This one may not because it's a bit thicker. I'm going to give it a snip, and I'm going to give it a bit of glue. And then what you do is you just twist the end, and then it makes the end of it a little less. There, got it through. Okay. Okay, but that's going to be bulky. Why is it doing that? Oh well. We're going with it. We're working with it. It will be fine. And it's thicker, so I don't have to, another trick, just give it a bit of glue, and it doesn't unravel. There. Now let's take the scissors and kind of give it a bit of a snip. I think that's cute. I'm just not sold, should it be on the side or should it be in the middle? I'm not. I'm just going to have to make a decision here already. Yeah, okay, I think I like it right there. Probably going to give, it's going to give it a bit of a thickness right too close to the spine. So maybe, okay, that's it, done. I'm just going to make a decision already. And it's going to go right there. Thanks, you guys, if you're still here. This video is longer than I would have hoped it'd be. But I'm having fun, so that's a good thing. Okay. I'll glue this down a bit better. once I'm off camera. But so the tag comes out. It's a nice large tag for writing. Flip up and it fits right inside there. I kind of like that. What do you guys think? Let me know. And the other one we did is this. I'm going to have to paper clip these. Let's do that right now. Paper clip them to just so that these don't keep falling like that. You could paper clip up top or at the bottom. There. And this is the tag that sticks out. Okay, so that's one spread. One more little glance. And there's the other. Pretty, love it. Okay, guys, thank you so much for sticking around. I hope you have a fabulous weekend. We will see you next week with a new video and hopefully some more crafting fun. Okay, take care, everybody.